welcome to my channel. Today it is my home cooking, and instead of breakfast I am going to be doing dinner. So just changing it up a little bit. Had a kind of a busy morning, so I decided, oh, you know what, I'll do dinner instead. So today I'm going to be making some albondigas with Fideo, which just means some meatballs with some vermicelli pasta. It is a super easy meal to make. It's great for lunch, great for dinner, great for a midnight snack, whatever. All right, so let's get going on this. So let's get to cooking. All right, so I'm gonna start off with a pound of ground beef. Do however much you need. If you're gonna cook for just yourself, do half a pound if you want or less. But I'm gonna start with a whole pound, and I'm gonna cook this up into little meatballs. All right, so all I'm gonna do is add some seasonings just to make it simple. So I'm gonna start off with salt and pepper. Now you could just grab a little package of taco seasoning if you want and throw that in. Make it super easy for yourself. Which reminds me, I need to grab some paprika. I have all of my stuff here, but I need to grab that. All right, some paprika. I've got garlic powder. I also brought out the minced garlic. I'm not sure. You could use either one. You know what? I think I'm going to use the minced garlic just because it'll give it, you know, the meatballs a little texture. Because I'm not adding any breadcrumbs or egg or anything like that. I'm going to keep it really simple. Okay, just some nice amount of garlic. I think I like a tablespoon, so let's add that in there. Give it lots of flavor. Okay, so besides the salt and pepper, paprika, and now some garlic, and you can use garlic powder. I'm going to use some cumin. This is about a teaspoon. And then I'm going to also put a little bit of this nor, and I'm just going to add about half a teaspoon because I'll add a little bit more to the liquid that I'm going to cook these in, the broth. Okay, so now I'm just going to get my hands in there. So don't be afraid to do that. And always wash your hands. I know there's like a little bit of a haze in my video. I've already wiped the lens. There's nothing in here that's creating that. It's probably just the later lighting, later day. It's like 4. Oh, it's already gonna be 5 o'clock in the afternoon. My goodness. Okay, so yeah, 5 p.m. and I'm just not doing this. Okay. We did eat a late lunch, and then we had carrot roll. I bought a little carrot roll when I was getting some groceries this morning. That's another reason why I didn't do a video, is because everybody's had something going on health-wise this Labor Day weekend. Me with lots of pain, couldn't walk, couldn't sit, couldn't lay down. Just short moments of each taking turns, lying down, sitting down, standing, but not really standing too long, just kind of like walking around. That helped. Compression sock also helped. Okay, so now that I've got this all in there, I'm just gonna make tiny little meatballs. I'm gonna need a plate for that, but just like that, just little ones, okay? We want them to cook quickly. We don't want big giant meatballs that are gonna take a while to cook. We want these to cook quickly, like that. So about 1 inch in diameter. They don't all have to be exactly the same. Just try and just take your time, listen to some music, and make your little meatballs. All right, I'll be back. All right, so those are my little meatballs that I put together. And this is an 80-20 lean fat ground beef, by the way. You can use turkey or any other, like pork, to make your little meatballs. Okay, so now I'm just gonna chop up. This is a small Texas sweet onion, but use whatever onion you like. And if you don't like onions, well, you can leave it out, but if you have some onion powder, that would be great to add that flavor in here. All right, let's just chop it up any which way. Do little slices, little half moons like that, or chop it up, which is what I'm going to do. Little bits of the skin. Another piece. Okay. My birds were really quiet, and I guess because I'm talking, they're making that noise. All right. gonna saute these onions in the pan before I add the meatballs. And I'm gonna add the fideo in at last because it takes a while to cook all this other stuff, and the fideo doesn't need that long. Otherwise, I would just put it all together, but I don't want it to get all mushy. So we'll put that at the end. But I am gonna saute it a little bit in some oil first because I like it nice and toasty. I don't want to throw it in there just like that because it just becomes like a regular pasta. But if I toast it up a little bit, it brings out this nutty flavor in the fideo, the vermicelli. So that's a really nice flavor profile to have in this, and it's basically the traditional way of cooking fideo. Just toast it up a little bit in some oil. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing with a tomato. Just chop it up into little choppy bits. Little chopped up bits is what I meant to say, but you know, just like to get that part. Chop it up however you like. If you want to use a canned chopped tomato, use that. I actually think I have chopped tomato in a can, but oh well. Sometimes it's fun to chop up, you know, prep things. This is the best way to cook a meal, you guys, is to chop up everything or prepare whatever you need to do. Like the meatballs are already done on the side, rather than doing things as you go. But you know, sometimes you're inventing, or you decide, you know what, I'm gonna add this and that. So you stop, you gotta prep something else. But I'm being my own sous chef today, and I'm preparing everything. And this is basically it, you guys. You could add a little chopped Mexican squash in this too as well. This would be really delicious with that. And I kind of wish I had one now. But this will be good. Okay. We have all this chopped up. So let's go ahead and saute this with a little bit of oil. All right, so my pan is getting hot, so I'm gonna add some oil. About a tablespoon. And just kind of move it around, let it coat the bottom of the pan. I'm gonna drop in the onions first. Okay, so I'm not gonna be adding any more salt. I'm gonna wait till the end and taste it, and if I feel like it needs a little bit of salt, I will. But I'm not gonna add any more salt to anything that I've done because I've already added salt to the beef. The chicken broth, it does have some salt, even though it does say it's less sodium. But then this that I'm going to be using, the tomato bouillon, has plenty of salt in it. So I'm not going to add any more. And I believe the tomato sauce that I'm using also has salt in it. So I'm going to stir this around. Get a little bit of a translucent going there. Looks great. Let's add in the tomatoes now. And I'm going to add more garlic. About a half tablespoon this time. Okay, stir that up. Let's get that sauteed up really nicely. All right, so I've sauteed them. The tomatoes are getting soft. It's only been a couple of minutes at the most. Didn't take very long. So I'm going to go ahead and lower my heat here. All right, so I've got some chicken broth, or you can use beef broth, depending on what you have, and I happen to have chicken broth. And I'm going to pour about half of this in here. Okay. This is 48 ounces, so I guess I poured in about 24 ounces. So let's get those. Let's get this hot, and then we're going to go ahead and put the meatballs in there. Oh, we don't want to forget, I'm going to add a little can of some tomato sauce. If you have tomato paste, use that. Just break it up in here. And I'm going to use this. Get it all out. Getting some of that chicken broth in this little can. There we go. And a little bit of this nor. Like I said, I used half a tablespoon. So I'll use half a tablespoon here. It's all together. I used a whole tablespoons, maybe a little bit less. There we go. And we'll just taste it later and adjust any seasonings as needed. So I need this to get hot, and then we'll put in the meatballs. All right, this is getting hot. Let me do a little taste here. Okay, we'll go ahead and put in the meatballs. Just drop them in there carefully like that. Don't burn your little fingers. And I think I'm gonna, I went ahead and I put up the temperature again because dropping the meatballs will cool this down. And we don't want that. Now, like I said, you can use turkey or ground chicken or ground turkey or ground pork to make your meatballs, whatever you want. And then whatever vegetable or beef, chicken broth you want to use. You got turkey broth, do it with some turkey. Why not? Do your own variation. If you want to do this with Beyond Beef, I guess, that Beyond Meat or whatever it's called, the plant-based, do that. Make it veggie. Of course, make sure anything that you add in there is to your diet needs. But that would be it because it's just onions, tomatoes. I used vegetable oil. You can use avocado oil, olive oil. Okay, so this needed a little bit more salt, so I'm going to go ahead and add that in there. And I'm going to add a little bit more pepper. Okay, so instead of dropping in the more garlic, I'm just going to add garlic powder. There we go. I'm going to give it a little more flavor, a little more oomph to it. Why not? Let's add a little bit more cumin. I mean, I could just add more of that tomato stuff in it, but I wanted to check on the salt. All right, we're just going to gently stir this. This is going to cook for about 5 minutes. And I've got a pan here ready to toast up my Fideo, my vermicelli. I'm just turning the little meatballs over, getting the red meat facing down now and the brown facing up. So often you're going to do that. And just let it bubble up, okay? I'm going to go about 5 minutes. It's 5:19, so about 5:24 for me. At least that's my time. Okay, so just stir it ever so often. Just do it very gently. You don't want to break up your little meatballs. I mean, if they break up, so what? You'll have little meat chunks in there rather than meatballs. Look how they're looking, you guys. Woohoo! Now, if you were doing chicken or some other type of poultry, you'd probably want to cook them for a little bit longer. I'm going to say about 8 minutes or so. So I guess if you consider like cooking a piece of chicken breast, you're doing it 4 minutes on each side. That's 8 minutes, but that would be like a thin chicken breast. So then if you're using little meatballs and you're making them small like I am, that amount of time, because that timing is only to get them, like pretty much like at a cooked position point, I should say. But then we're gonna add the Fideo in there, and that's gonna simmer for about 10 minutes, almost 15 minutes. So you gotta have plenty of time for your meat to cook well. We're just giving it a little head start, okay? Okay, I got another 2 minutes, so in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on this other burner so that I can get this oil hot in there. I've already added oil into this little pan. I added about, I guess it was about anywhere from half to 1 tablespoon of oil. It just depends on what you want to use. And I'm gonna toast up my Fideo, my vermicelli. Okay, so this is nice and hot. We're gonna pour in the Fideo. This is what I'm saying, Fideo, an enriched vermicelli pasta. That's what we're gonna be using, the vermicelli pasta. Now, if you can't find Fideo, you can use spaghetti. Just break it up into little pieces. Or you find the little mini shells, those are perfect for this also. Any little sized pasta. But we want to toast it up, okay? This is what's gonna give it that really nice flavor. If you want to skip this, you're like, oh, I don't have to use it as a pan to do this separately, blah, 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 blah. Then go ahead and just throw in your pasta in there, okay? But I really recommend that you toast it up. Bring out that little nuttiness. And this you have to beat over it because you don't want it to burn. So just make sure that when you're ready to do this, that you're going to be right here. And it just takes a couple of minutes or so. So how have you all been doing? I hope you had a nice Labor Day. My mom was sick from her tummy this weekend. And then I've been in pain. I can't, this whole leg all the way down to my ankle and up to into the small of my back. I've been in a lot of pain, so I do have an appointment for Friday, so I can get myself checked out. Didn't want to, but now I'm going to. Okay, so actually my husband made that appointment for me. And then my husband ended up not going to work today. He wasn't feeling good this morning, so we're all falling apart here in my house. Okay, so this is getting nice and toasty. Like I said, we don't want it to burn. Bring down the temperature. Okay, I can see some really dark brown ones now, so we're at the point where we're gonna burn. So let's turn that off. We'll remove that from the heat, and we'll pour it all in here. Okay. Slowly mix it in. Try to put this pan down carefully. We had a nice little sizzle because of the broth in there, and then of course the oil that was in the pasta that kind of, you know, collided with each other. So that's why you heard that little sizzle. So just be careful pouring it in. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn this down. Okay, gotta wipe here now. Okay, I'm gonna cover this up. I'm actually gonna lower it to like super low. I have like from low to the high would be like about a 9 or a 10 here. So I have it like at about a 2 here. So that just tells you on a scale of 1 to 10, a 2 of heat for my Fideo. And this is gonna cook, like I said, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, okay? So we just want it to simmer in there, a low boil, simmer, whatever you wanna call it. And this will be ready, you guys. If you feel like you want this to be soupy, add more broth to it, then taste it and see if the flavor is there for you. Add little seasonings if you have to add. So it's always best to add a little bit of seasoning and then taste it and then add a little bit more than rather than adding a whole bunch because you think, oh, I want lots of flavor. You know, so you're just starting out cooking. This is a tip for you. Add a little bit of seasoning at first. You can always add more later. Okay. All right, it has been almost 15 minutes. It is 5:35, so almost 15 minutes. And I've already checked this. I checked it about 3 minutes ago and it needed a little bit longer. But now I checked it and it was perfectly fine. So I'm just going to show you now. This vermicelli is super soft, but it is not mushy, okay? It looks like spaghetti. And we have our little meatballs here. Let's cut one in half here. Oops, it's hot, you guys. I'm gonna put my finger in there and grab it, but I don't dare. Okay, so I cut that one in half. Let's turn it over. And you can see that it's fully cooked on the inside, okay? So that's all you wanna do is just pop one open, make sure it's cooked. Now, like I said, you could add lots of broth into this. My goodness, these birds are so quiet now, they're chattering away or chirping away. Anyway, so yeah, if you wanna make it into like a soup, a little caldito, and lots of broth to it. Basically, the amount of broth that I used was about 36 ounces, okay? And if you want to thick like I did, then that's all you need, 36 ounces. Otherwise, put the whole 48 ounces or more. It all depends on how soupy you want it. I've already given it another taste. That's my microwave. It is perfect the way that it is, at least for me. So we are done with it. So it's time to serve this up. So let's give it a taste as well. Okay, so I'm going to serve it up on a bowl. You can serve it up on a plate. You know, the way that I made it, of course, if you make it into a soup, you want to put it in a bowl. But I'm going to go ahead and put them in a bowl because I was thinking that in my head, soup, so I grabbed that, I grabbed the spoons, and that's fine. We're gonna go ahead and use that. And there it is, you guys. Let me go ahead and take a nice picture of it. I always feel guilty when I'm tasting the food before my husband or my mom get to eat. Because here I am and trying to finish up a video and already enjoying the meal. Let's give it a little bit of a taste. This is a little bit of the Fideo. Super hot, you guys. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I love this. This is a very what is it, hearty and comforting food. Weather gets a little chilly. This is perfect for your whole family, the kids, mom, dad, whoever you're making it for. If you're just making it for yourself, you know, let it cool off completely, put it in some little containers, have lunch and dinner for the following days. I wanted to show you a way you could also eat these. I have some tostadas right here. Nice tostadas. You could break it up or grab some chips, but I love these red tostadas. Serve it up on there, eat that up. You could also get some queso fresco, which is what I'm gonna do right here. Crumble it up on top. This is great if you're making it into a little caldito or a little soup. Also get some lime and squeeze some in there. Absolutely delicious. If you're dairy, add some salsa, something hot. I like Cholula, so that's what I'm gonna put in there. And you can also serve it up like this. Add some chips on the side here. Make it pretty. Serve it up like that. Or you could go a step further. Grab your tostada, your toasted tortilla, and I'm using black beans, but you could use regular pinto refried beans. Spread them on top like that. I'm just giving you some ideas, guys. You can use toasted white bread if that's what you want. That's what you have. You know, you can just fry up your own corn tortillas or put them in the oven, let them get toasty. You have these tostadas or make a taco out of them, whatever you want. Look at that. I have avocado too. You can top it with some avocado or just eat it simple, plain the way it is, straight from the pan. And that's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed my very simple recipe of Albondigas con Fideo, which is meatballs and vermicelli. It's super delicious, you guys. I don't know what else to tell you. Of course, I made it. So I'm gonna give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up and leave a kind comment down below and let me know what you think of my recipe. Super easy. Anybody can make it. For you young moms, this is great for the kids. You can even make your meatballs a little bit smaller, or if you just want to saute the beef and have it, you know, broken down like if you for a taco, you can also do it that way. And then just add it into the broth and then add your little Fideo in there. This is a great meal for kids because it is small little pasta bits. The beef is nice. You're not putting too many, you know, things that are like spicy or anything in there. Just keep it simple. Give it to them when it's cooled off. And they will enjoy it. Look at that, it's super comfort food. All right, everyone, if you enjoyed the content of my video, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. So hit that red subscribe button, and then you want to hit the little notification bell, and I always click all, so you get notified of all of the videos as soon as I upload them. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel. Have a super week, and as always, enjoy.